Now is a stand-up lawyer himself. Please give it up for our good friend, Jordan Parker!
What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Yes, I am a lawyer because everything people say on stage is true. And I've got the quirky, ironic t-shirt, so those never lie. I am actually an attorney, this is true. I joined the legal profession for the same reason every lawyer does. I did it to fulfill my passion of proving stupid people wrong in public. I mean, helping people. And yes, I like being a lawyer because I think it gives you a view of the world, you understand how things work, and you can help people in need. To be a lawyer, you're basically like society's mechanic. If you're coming to see me, get ready to pay a shit ton of money for a problem you insist is not broken, while I use words you can't possibly understand. And pretty much that's what it is, whenever anybody comes to you with a legal problem, you have to talk them down and explain this thing to them in a way that they can hopefully understand, even though you're about to charge them a bunch of money. They bring their car that is a legal problem for the purpose of this metaphor. I looked it up. Yeah, there's your problem right there. You stabbed a guy, you need his face. Don't panic, this kind of thing happens all the time in my line of business. Now, here's what you're gonna wanna do. First, you're gonna wanna sand off your fingerprints, change your dental records, and if you can find someone willing to lie under oath, that'd go a long way. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, that's just a dead guy with a half-eaten face. That'll buff right out. But trust me, this is gonna bite you in the keister. I've seen it 1,000 times. You try to save a couple $1,000, fix it yourself, and you got a whole bunch of half-dead guys with eaten faces. Either way, trust me, you're gonna wanna pay up front to fix this, and I'm your guy. So, as you can tell from my skilled lawyering, I recently moved to Oklahoma to pursue stand-up comedy full-time. That is a real thing. I kept telling people honestly, and they kept laughing at me, so I incorporated it into my set. And yeah, moving to Oklahoma to pursue stand-up comedy is like saying, I'm gonna celebrate my sobriety by relocating to New Orleans. Like, yeah, you could do that, but wow, you are taking the path of greatest resistance right there. And, here in California, we're a pretty wealthy state, and I think things are going okay. And I think we've got an obligation to check in on our friend Oklahoma and put it, because I'm pretty sure it should be on suicide watch. Because that state has problems, self-esteem problems, and it is clearly going through the motions, and this is how I know. Its original motto was, I'm not kidding, Oklahoma is okay. Which is better than the one they were shopping at first, Oklahoma, lower your expectations. And nowhere is this sad mentality clearer than the fact that in Oklahoma City, the two major airports, Wiley Post and Will Rogers International Airport, are named after people who famously died in airplane crashes. I can only imagine. I don't understand what the thought was going on back there. It's so strange. This is your captain speaking. We are getting ready to touch down in Will Rogers Airport. Something Will Rogers cannot say. So, yes, this is Oklahoma, but count your blessings. So speaking of lowering expectations, I started dating in Oklahoma. And I gotta say, dating in Oklahoma is a lot like picking a movie on Netflix. There's a whole bunch of options you almost want, and anything that you would actually want, you have to get ready to pay extra for. But so you all can relate to this. Recently, you ever lose your keys in your house, and you start looking in old normal places, so you start looking in the stupid places it shouldn't be, like the freezer or the garbage can? So that's pretty much what dating in Oklahoma is, right? It's like, I know it shouldn't be here, but where else could it freaking be? I've looked everywhere else. And things are weird out there, right? Like, if you want to laugh, just try Tinder. And the most common thing on Tinder that I see is, the most important thing in my life is my relationship to Jesus Christ. Which is great. I'm so happy you found somebody, but I'm just not really ready for a poly relationship. I don't want to be doing you while he's standing in the corner, flexing his six-pack, judging me, and then you ask me to eat his body. Look, I'm not having that again. So I recently got tested for STDs, as long as we're on the subject. Yes, as I got tested for STDs in Oklahoma, of all places, because apparently women want to be sure you're STD free. And here I thought that women love surprises in the bedroom. Wrong again, Cosmo. So I'm sitting in the Oklahoma County Clinic, getting ready to get tested, and I see an advertisement telling you to get an AIDS test that I think missed the mark a little bit. So in this ad, there's a man walking alone, his shadow behind him, and what I can only describe as a giant, monstrous shadow murder crow trying to eat him. And in ominous letters, it says, "Anxiety, deadlier than HIV." Now, if I may quibble for a small moment here, I'm no doctor, and I think I may have fallen asleep in history class, but I don't remember thousands of people dying in the 1980s because Ronald Reagan didn't recognize America's anxiety epidemic. That's an AP US history joke, and goddamn it if I'm not gonna use it. Yes, Oklahoma is very odd, and so as I'm getting tested, which you should do, because some of you probably have herpes. That's just statistics. 1, 2, 3, 4, you. 1, 2, 3, 4, you. Look, just math. And I'm the most thorough check I've ever gotten. He's looking at my feet. He's checking my back. I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, didn't you know Oklahoma has syphilis on the rise?" I'm surprised that he didn't just check me for bubonic plague as long as we're dealing with diseases that don't exist anymore. And again, I made that joke, and then a helpful Oklahoman said, "Actually, Jordan," which you know this is going to end well, "actually, we do have bubonic plague here." So if you type Oklahoma's health department website, you will find an entry on dealing with the bubonic plague because it's a thing that happens. I mean, two things. One, I'd like to think that maybe it's not that the state has been enraptured by right-wing politics that's governing into the ground. The whole state having neurosyphilis would be much easier to accept. And I mean, the state has syphilis and the bubonic plague, and it hates science. So it's basically 1300s England. So it makes things a lot easier to process. Oh, you guys are fun. We're having a lot of fun here. One thing that's a challenge, I alluded to it earlier. I actually did have to stop drinking. I just celebrated a year of sobriety. Let me rephrase that. I do not count weed as violating that sobriety or anything else I can find. Just alcohol, so I am great, is what I'm saying. But you see, I made sure to let people know, "Oh, no. I didn't stop drinking because I wanted to improve my life. I did it because the doctor said I was probably going to die." So, I'm like, fine, I'll live, but is that really life? And it's interesting, right? Because I have to tell people that because there's that voice that goes off in your head. Like, if two people give you the exact same thing they're doing, you'll hate them or not, depending on what they say. If I'm like, "So I quit drinking because I just wanted to make my life better and I didn't like how it was affecting others." "Oh, this freaking asshole. Actually, I could die." "Well, okay, as long as it's not a moral choice." Sort of like, "Oh, actually, I found out I might get a heart attack, so my doctor told me to stop eating meat, even though I'd love to keep eating." "Well, thank goodness." "Well, I just don't like the ideas that the animals are dying." This person thinks he's better than me? Yeah, but actually, because I don't drink, I have to find other things to do, so I drink coffee. Anybody a coffee drinker? I'm a big coffee drinker. In fact, I love coffee. I love my coffee like I love my women. I will take literally anything you offer to me. I don't care if it's not hot anymore or it came from the gas station. I just want to feel alive once again. My name has been Jordan Parker. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Give it up for Al Gabby, everybody.
Jordan Parker!